Welcome, dear dreamer. Tonight, under the soft glow of moonlight, let your heart drift to a world far beyond the clouds, where the stars whisper secrets and fairies weave dreams from silver dust. In this tale, you'll meet Lunaria, a fairy who lives among the stars, and Ella, a little girl from Earth whose heart has forgotten how to shine. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let the journey begin. Chapter 1: The Kingdom Above the Clouds. High above the sleeping world, where time flows like music, there lies a realm called the Land of Stars. The air there shimmers with light, and every breeze hums with the melody of dreams. This kingdom is ruled by the Queen of Light, whose crown is made from the first dawn's rays. Her children, the star fairies, keep the night skies alive. Some guide lost travelers, some paint constellations, and some, like Lunaria, listen to dreams. Lunaria was unlike the others. Her wings glowed softly, like melted silver, and her heart carried an unending curiosity. She loved listening to the dreams of Earth's children, tiny voices rising through the night like candle flames. But lately, one dream had begun calling to her louder than any other. A fragile voice that whispered through the stars, trembling with sadness. "Please, if there's someone out there, help me find my light again." The words echoed in Lunaria's chest. She could feel the pain behind them, a child's voice, full of longing and loss. That night, while the other fairies danced under the Milky Way, Lunaria stood at the edge of the sky, looking down toward the blue world far below. She could see waves glittering like broken glass, and a small coastal town nestled beside them. That was where the voice came from. Chapter 2: The Girl by the Sea. On the edge of Willowmere, a sleepy seaside town, lived a young girl named Ella. She had hair the color of morning sunshine and eyes that once sparkled like the ocean, but lately they had lost their shine. Ella used to love bedtime. Every night, her mother would tuck her in and tell her stories about fairies, stars, and faraway kingdoms. But 1 year ago, everything changed. Her mother fell ill and the stories stopped. Now, bedtime felt lonely. One cloudy night, unable to sleep, Ella pressed her forehead against the cold windowpane and whispered toward the stars. "If fairies are real, please, help me remember how to dream again." And somewhere far above, Lunaria heard her. Chapter 3: The Descent Through Starlight. No fairy had ever been allowed to visit Earth. The Queen's law was clear: the stars must guide from afar, never fall. But Lunaria couldn't ignore the girl's plea. Her heart pulsed with warmth and light until her wings began to shimmer too brightly to contain. That night, as the Queen prepared the Sky Lantern Festival, Lunaria stood beneath the grand crystal archway of the palace. A single tear of starlight rolled down her cheek. "Forgive me, my queen," she whispered, "but a child's dream is fading. I must go." With one final breath, she spread her wings and dove through the skies. The stars sang around her. Clouds opened like silver curtains, and the moonlight followed her descent. As she neared Earth, her wings dimmed to hide her glow, and she landed softly among the whispering waves of Willowmere's shore. Chapter 4: The Meeting. The night was quiet, except for the ocean's hush. The sand shimmered under the moon, and Lunaria walked slowly toward a small house with a flickering light in its window. Inside, Ella sat on her bed, hugging a worn-out storybook, her mother's old fairy tales. Her eyes filled with tears. Then, suddenly, a soft glow filled the room. Ella blinked. Standing near her window was a tiny figure, no taller than her hand, with wings that looked like they were woven from moonlight. Who are you?" Ella whispered. The little fairy smiled gently. "I'm Lunaria. I heard your wish." Ella's breath caught. "You came from the stars." Lunaria nodded. "From the land of stars where dreams are born, but your light, it's dimming. I felt it from above." Ella looked down sadly. I don't dream anymore, not since Mama got sick. The fairy floated closer, her glow warm and kind. Dreams don't vanish, little one. Sometimes they just fall asleep inside us, waiting for someone to wake them up. And with that, Lunaria placed her glowing hand gently on Ella's heart. A soft spark of starlight flickered there, small, but alive. Ella gasped. I felt that. Lunaria smiled. It's your light it still remembers. Chapter 5. The Promise. That night, the two sat by the window together. Ella told Lunaria stories about her mother, the sea, and the little town that smelled like salt and rain. In return, Lunaria told her about the constellations, how every star in the sky was a dream waiting to be remembered. Before leaving, Lunaria said softly, Tomorrow, when you wake, go to the old lighthouse by the shore. There's something there that belongs to you. Ella nodded, feeling warmth in her heart for the first time in many months. As Lunaria rose into the air, starlight trailed behind her like falling snow. Ella watched until the fairy vanished into the night. And for the first time in a long while, Ella fell asleep smiling. Chapter 6. The Lighthouse by the Sea. Morning sunlight spilled across the sleepy town of Willowmere. The ocean shimmered, and gulls cried gently above the waves. Ella woke with a strange feeling, a warmth glowing softly in her chest, as if her dream had followed her into the morning. Then she remembered Lunaria's words. Go to the old lighthouse by the shore. The lighthouse had been closed for years. It stood alone at the end of the cliffs, wrapped in ivy and silence. With her storybook in one hand and courage in the other, Ella made her way along the narrow path that led to the sea. The wind brushed against her hair, and for a moment she thought she heard a faint melody like the sound of stars humming. When she reached the lighthouse, its heavy wooden door creaked open, as if it had been waiting for her. Chapter 7. The Secret Light. Inside, the air was cool and dusty. Spiral stairs wound upward into the tower, and beams of sunlight fell through broken glass. Ella climbed slowly until she reached the top. There, resting on the old stone floor, was something she never expected, a crystal lantern, faintly glowing with silver light. The glow shimmered like the night sky itself. And beside it stood Lunaria. You found it, the fairy said softly, her wings flickering with joy. This is the lantern of dreams. Long ago it guided lost ships and lost hearts, but its flame has been fading because the people below stopped believing in light. Ella knelt beside the lantern. Can it shine again? Lunaria nodded. It can, but only if someone lights it with a dream that is pure. Ella looked uncertain. I don't think I have that kind of dream anymore. The fairy smiled. You do. It's inside you, waiting to be remembered. Chapter 8. The Dream Within. Lunaria hovered closer and placed her tiny hand over Ella's heart. Close your eyes, she whispered. Ella did. The world fell silent, only the soft rhythm of waves below. Then, within the darkness of her mind, she saw her mother's face, smiling, alive, and warm. She remembered laughter, bedtime stories, and the way her mother's voice always said, You are my little light. A tear rolled down Ella's cheek. That's it, Lunaria whispered. That's your dream, hold it close. Ella lifted her hand and touched the lantern. The crystal pulsed, once, twice, then burst into life with a beam of silver and gold. The entire lighthouse glowed like a star come down to earth. Chapter 9. The Return of the Stars. From high above the clouds, the Queen of Light saw the towers glow and smiled. Lunaria has done what no fairy has before, she has awakened belief again. Across the heavens, the constellations brightened. The land of stars shimmered more brilliantly than it had in centuries. Down below, Ella watched in awe as the sea reflected the light. The waves sparkled like diamonds, and the night sky above came alive with motion, thousands of stars forming a gentle spiral above the lighthouse. "Look," Lunara said, her voice soft as wind. "They're singing for you." Ella laughed through tears. "For me." "For every heart that still dares to dream," the fairy replied. Chapter 10. The Promise of the Stars. As dawn began to touch the horizon, Lunara's wings shimmered brighter. "I must return now," she said gently. "The queen calls me home." Ella's eyes filled with sadness. "Will I ever see you again?" Lunara smiled. "Close your eyes at night and look toward the brightest star. I'll be there watching, listening. And if you ever feel your light fading, whisper your dream to the sky. I'll hear it." With that, Lunara lifted her hand, and tiny sparks of starlight surrounded Ella like a warm blanket. "Thank you," Ella whispered, "for helping me remember." Lunara nodded, her wings unfolding like two ribbons of light. "It was your heart that remembered, little one. Never forget, the stars shine brightest when the world grows dark." And with a final twirl, she rose into the air, becoming a trail of silver dust that melted into the morning sky. Ella watched until the light vanished, then turned toward the sea. The lantern still glowed softly beside her, a gift from the land of stars. From that day on, the lighthouse never went dark again. And now, dear dreamer, as the stars whisper over your head, let the warmth of Ella's lantern guide you into your own dreams. Remember, somewhere far above, a tiny fairy with wings of moonlight is still listening. She's guarding the land where dreams are born, waiting for another heart to whisper its wish to the stars. So close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let the night cradle you in its gentle arms. May your dreams be bright, your heart calm, and your soul filled with starlight. Good night, traveler of dreams. Sleep peacefully under the watchful glow of the fairy from the land of stars. Milky sparkles,